Welcome to Change Agent Leadership, the podcast that gives leaders like you the tools, resources, and practical strategies to lead well and drive meaningful change. I'm your host, Jonathan Hankin, and I want to share a free tool that I personally use every year and I also provide my clients called the Wheel of Life. But before we get to that, let's talk about something fundamental to great leadership, and that's planning. There's an old saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. And when it comes to leadership, that couldn't be more true. The best leaders don't just hope for success, they take intentional steps to create it. They anticipate challenges, set clear goals, and consistently evaluate their progress. Think about the leaders you admire. What sets them apart? More often than not, it's their ability to see ahead, to recognize opportunities, prepare for obstacles, and take decisive action. They don't just react to the world around them, they shape it. Great leaders understand that growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires clarity, commitment, and a game plan. As a change agent leader, growing and developing yourself holistically is critical. Whether in business, relationships, health, or personal development, success is rarely the result of luck. It's a byproduct of consistent effort and intentional reflection. That's where today's topic, the Wheel of Life, comes in. This tool provides a structured way to assess where you are right now, identify where you want to be, and develop a plan to bridge that gap. It's a simple yet powerful exercise that as I mentioned, I personally complete every year and I provide to my clients. This assessment takes you 10 to 15 minutes to complete, but it can give you clarity on where to focus on personal and professional growth. Instead of lumping life into one big bucket, which many of us do, and then guessing what needs improvement, this tool breaks it down into specific areas, helping you take action where it matters most. At the start of a new year, most of us fall into one of three camps. We make resolutions, we think about making them but don't, or we avoid them altogether. While the intention to grow is great, statistics show that resolutions don't work for most people. Why? Because in fact, most people make resolutions but fail by mid-January. And only 9 to 12% of people actually stick with them for the entire year. Why? Because vague goals lead to vague results. When we don't break down our goals into clear areas, we lack the focus and strategy to sustain progress. That's where the Wheel of Life comes in. This is a coaching tool designed to help you assess your satisfaction in key areas such as health, finances, relationship, and your career. Instead of looking at life as one big bucket, the Wheel of Life helps you identify specific areas to improve so you can take meaningful action. You can download the free assessment from my coaching site, Journey Coaching. The link is in the show notes. And the worksheet includes 3 versions that you can use: a stress and burnout assessment, a general life balance assessment, and a blank version that you can customize for your own categories. Overall, you get a 5-page packet that you can use to develop yourself. So picture a wheel divided into 8 sections like a pie chart. Each section represents a key area of your life. You rate your satisfaction in each category on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being very unsatisfied and 10 being you are thriving. When you connect the dots, you'll see how smooth or bumpy your wheel is, indicating which areas need attention. So for example, if you're assessing stress and burnout, which is one of the assessments attached, you might rate your categories like workload, your values, in other words, how do you connect at work, rewards, are you being financially and socially rewarded, control, do you have control or autonomy at work, the fairness of your position, community, are you involved in community in your work there, trust, relationships at work, and competence, how confident are you in your skills? Once you've mapped out your scores, take some time to reflect and ask yourself, how do I feel looking at this wheel? What areas need the most attention? What do I want to see growth in this year? And last, what is one small action step that I can take to improve? You can break this down further into an action plan. Identify your highest scoring categories. Celebrate your highest scoring categories. Many people are quick to jump over to the lower scoring areas. That's a mistake. Take time to reflect on what's going well, how you continue to focus and keep those scores high. Developing these areas are key to giving you margin to focus on a few of the lower scoring areas. With that in mind, 1, ask what will help you maintain this success. Answer the question, how will this be a win this coming year? What will you do to ensure it stays at a 7 or an 8 or a 9 or higher? Or how will you move it up? Identify who can help you. Identify who's hindering you. All these questions prepare you mentally for success in an area that you are already succeeding in, but in order to continue to succeed this coming year. Then move on to what's not working so well. Pick one or two low scoring categories to focus on for growth. Then answer the question, how will that be a win for me? If it's currently a 2, moving to a 4 can be a win. Moving to a 10 is not likely possible. It's very important to have realistic expectations. Then list out 3 to 5 options to move up in that area. Actually list them out and then pick 2 or 3 that you believe will move you forward. Identify who will help you in these areas. Identify, are there people that are hindering you from moving up? Who's holding you back from success in these areas? What will you do to get help? And prepare for the person that's hindering you. Again, answering these questions and having a plan that you follow is critical to your success. And then last, check in regularly. Progress happens when we measure and adjust. Some final thoughts. Great leaders, especially change agent leaders, are self-aware, adaptable, and intentional about growth. The Wheel of Life helps you develop this success and awareness and create a roadmap for personal and professional success. Some final thoughts. Great leaders, especially change agent leaders, are self-aware, adaptable, and intentional about growth. The Wheel of Life helps you develop this awareness and create a roadmap for personal and professional success. Download your free assessment, take the 10 to 15 minutes to complete it, and start making intentional progress this year. If you want coaching support, reach out. I'd love to help. My contact is in the show notes. If you want to dive deeper into change agent leadership, check out more resources and coaching services also located in the show notes. If today's episode was helpful, share with a colleague and leave a review. Start planning today to be more balanced in life, being fulfilled, and successful this coming year. I did want to give you a visual if you're watching this on YouTube on my podcast. This is the actual worksheet that you will download. It's 5 pages. So it does cover a lot of what I went over. You have the part of the leadership toolbox. You have the Wheel of Life, an overview here, a basic description covering what I talked about in the podcast and different information. But I really wanted to give you a visual. Here's an example of how to use it when I talked about breaking down the 8 categories so you can put numbers on them and then draw a line. So here's the idea of the bumpy wheel. Again, based on what you put in the areas, how bumpy is your wheel? What are areas to focus on for the coming year? What are things you want to address? And this gives you a nice visual. Instead of putting it all into one bucket, you actually get a full breakdown. Again, here is some application questions. I went over a few, but you get all these questions, just key things to work on and questions to ask yourself as you reflect on your Wheel of Life. I also mentioned that there's 3 versions in the handout. The first one is the original Wheel of Life, which covers the 8 areas just for overall growth in your career. How is your life overall? How are you excited about life at this current time? Again, a key part of this Wheel of Life is at this current time. So with the Wheel of Life, how are you with your career? How is your money situation? How is your health? How's your friends and family? How's your significant others or romance area? Personal growth and learning, fun, leisure, and then physical environment, your home, other things. And you can redefine these, but these are the general 8 areas that you would rate yourself on. And in the actual podcast, I talked about stress. And I actually did this one before. I do this every year, but I went ahead and scored myself. So you can see my scores. I put them inside the wheel because it would be a little bit messy on the outside. So I just broke them down. So you can see my scores all around here, 6, 10, 7, 9, 10, 5, 8, and 9. So I drew a line. I didn't color them in. And then also you can see then, so how bumpy is my wheel? So this gives me a great visual that things, so many areas are going well in my stress, actually. My values line up at work. Control is a 9, which is great. I feel things are fair where I'm at. And again, trust and competence there is high. So I am an executive coach, but I'm also a vice president of operations. So in my current role as vice president of operations, this is where I'm at. But you can see I have a few areas to work on. My workload is a 6. My community is a 5. And one of the reasons my community is low is I've been in this role for a few years, but I recently moved to Arizona from Pennsylvania. And so this is an area I'm working on this next year, and also workload. Always a challenge. But again, you can see this gives you a visual to be able to see what are areas that I need to grow and work on this upcoming year. So I have a plan to continue to hit the home run, so to speak, in the high areas, but also where do I continue to grow and develop in my lower scoring areas? And then also, you'll see you also get a basic wheel of life, which has nothing on it. So you can write it yourself. You can write whatever you want in there and use that for yourself. So, again, I hope this will be helpful to you this upcoming year. I know we're already in March, January and February has flown by, but I really believe that if you take the time, this can be a great tool to use to help you continue to grow and focus and develop yourself this upcoming year.